Be off, Reeker. Ard Kaddock refuses to see you. Now go! Before I gut you.
The Ard needs to hear what I have to say, my friend. It is imperative that we speak. Well, good to see you, my friend. I could use an ally in this desolate place. The Grey Host has turned his attention upon the Reach, but the local ruler refuses my help. This so-called despot of Markart thinks walls and sentries will hold back their fury. Ard Kaddock. He rules the Reach from Understone Keep in Markart. I've come to offer my help against the Grey Host, but he has turned me away time and time again. Meanwhile, even here, in the shadow of the city, the Grey Host plots and conspires. It's an alliance of vampires, witches, and werewolves bent on slaughter and destruction. To protect the Reach, I need to learn why the Grey Host has come here, and I need to secure the cooperation of Ard Kaddock. Would you be willing to help me? With your help, we may save the Reach yet. While I continue to exert diplomatic pressure, I need you to find information the Ard will consider valuable. Something concerning the rebels that plague his rule, perhaps. Start by talking to the sentry. Reach folk deal in bargains. They respect strength and skill, and they believe in rewarding favors. If we can bring something important to the Ard while demonstrating these qualities, I think he'll agree to hear us out. If we're to stop the Grey Host and help the Reach, we don't have a choice. At the very least, we need his resources and support. In my time here, I have heard about these rebels, but I'm not sure the extent of their rebellion. See what you can learn. Remember, remain respectful but wary when dealing with Reach folk. They don't suffer long speeches, nor even short ones. Keep your conversation with the sentry brief and to the point. Once you find something, meet me in Markart at Understone Keep. This Grey Host is somehow connected to the army that ravaged the land in the First Era. Like their ancient counterpart, I assume they seek to conquer and destroy. I need to learn more to know for sure. Meanwhile, we must get the Reach to prepare. No, of course not. I won't mince words. The Reachmen are a stubborn and unruly people. They resort to violence at the least provocation, but despite the opinion of most civilized Tamriel, they aren't frothing barbarians. Yes, so my ward Fenorian has told me, which is even more of a reason for you to help me here in the Reach. Whatever Radha al-Saran began in western Skyrim, I believe he has something even more terrible in mind for the Reach folk. No, of course not. The Reach folk possess a distinct culture that you'll see during your time here. They also enjoy the same capacity for virtue and evil as Bretons, Nords, and the other peoples of Tamriel. Animal skins don't make one a barbarian. actions do. As a noble of Rivenspire, I'm here under the guise of a diplomatic mission. However, as the leader of the Raven Watch, my real purpose remains to protect mortals from all manner of supernatural threats. Brace yourself. The Raven Watch consists of honorable vampires dedicated to restraining the less desirable elements in our brethren. This mandate extends to other supernatural threats, of which the Grey Host is certainly one. And yes, I am a vampire. We do not kill unless no other option presents itself. We seek to offer our kin a different path, to help them find a way to live alongside mortals without fear or temptation, by words and deeds, if possible, by force, if necessary. I appreciate the sentiment. The Raven Watch seeks to build a world where mortals and supernaturals can live together in peace. The Grey Host has a different idea, which is why I've come to stop them. I give you my solemn oath. You can trust me. An appellation he earned, as I understand it. Ardkadak is said to be ruthless and powerful, a cruel leader who seeks the ruin of Tamriel and the death of any who reject the spirits, or what you and I call the Daedric Princes. That he's a king of broken antlers and carrion crows who eats the hearts of his enemies and hunts children for sport? Perhaps. But the legend always overshadows the reality. Kadok's legend is a mix of Daggerfall insults and Reach superstitions. He's a canny leader who applies both caution and brutality in equal measure. He calls himself Ard, the king of the fort, but his rule isn't absolute. Most Reach clans respect him, however. His help will be crucial in the battles ahead. And you as well. I only wish we weren't in the midst of yet another crisis. I formed the Raven Watch to deal with this type of eventuality, but even with centuries to prepare, I find myself caught off guard. Kadok's stubbornness doesn't help. Yes, but too few. We tracked Rada al-Saron to the Reach and found the place crawling with Grey Host warriors. He's here for a reason, and I think it goes beyond simple conquest, but the truth of his motives elude me.
Didn't you hear? You and that fancy bastard aren't welcome here. Get, or I'll make a scarf out of your guts. We know all about the Blood Drinkers and the Beast Folk. We were dealing with them just fine before Ardkadak called us back to Markart. The Witch Rebels are a bigger threat, along with outsiders who try to get... Some wilder witch has been stirring up the clans to the east of Markart, making trouble for Ardkadak. But we'll have her head on a pike soon enough. Look, if you want to see the Ard, then bring news he doesn't know. Something about the rebels.
witch rebels are as bad as the damn vampires. Get away from me, you reeker. You think a rich warrior with only one good leg can't cut you? Well, think again. The Grey Host doesn't look like I've been bitten or clawed. It was the damn witch rebels. And they can't tell a reach folk from a monster any better than you can. They thought I was one of those invaders. Spirits, take the lot of them. Aye, like a pack of wild dogs they were. Kept shouting, Arana, Arana, as they bore down on me. I took an arrow in the leg before they listened to me. Before they decided I wasn't an invader. I think Arana spoke to me. I think she was their leader. No, like ghosts these rebels are. I plan to return to Markart and petition the Ard to let me take a war party out to find them. They must be hiding in the eastern foothills. I don't care if they are fighting the Grey Host. They're mine.
I heard that chipmunks abound in the Reach. I'm here to learn from them, and maybe teach them a thing or two.
You're more likely to fall afoul of a vampire than a Reach warrior right now. And better, that Reach warrior might just be an ally instead of an enemy.
Stay here as long as you like. I'm done waiting for Ardcardic to muster the clans.
Are you now? And what do you plan to do about it? Join those rebels? You wouldn't have the first clue about how to find them.
That's where you're wrong. Connell says they're gathering in the eastern foothills.
Well, then your head can wind up on a pike with the rest of them, you damn fool.
None of these weak strangers could face a true Reach challenge.
a short reachman with white hair, shaven in odd patterns, have you? He escaped his lessons with me again. Ah, a shame. Thank you, friend. We were in the middle of the saga of the Cloud Ghosts. I must learn to accompany him when we break for food. Otherwise, he'll never relearn how to tell his clan's stories. Yes, at their request. I found this clan on my way here, and for the price of a tale, aside from clan protection, why, all their stories, of course. I think I'm getting the better end of this deal, even with my students.
Here, my friend. Was your hunt successful? You couldn't have timed your arrival any better. Ardkadak holds court as we speak. We'll never have a better chance to gain an audience with him. Did your investigation uncover anything we can use? What did you learn? Irana? I have heard that name during my time here. Did you happen to learn what these rebels are rebelling against? Flee this city, with a grey host prowling the countryside. Well, that's 3 valuable pieces of information. I want you to represent me before Ardkadak. Explain what you learned and convince him to finally agree to meet with me. Speak with the Ard Sentry. You'll need to convince her to gain an audience with Kadak. I think the information you uncovered about the rebels will be enough to interest the despot of Markart, but you can never be too certain with Reach folk. I'm lucky to have made it this far into the city. Kadak and his entourage have little patience for a noble such as myself, especially a noble from a land they consider to be the home of their enemy. Now, this task is better in your hands. I shall wait around here and continue to discreetly learn what I can about the Reach and its people. I also want to think about Irana and her rebels. Maybe there's a way to add them to our arsenal. Go. I'll be here when you get back.
You again? You dare to disgrace Understone Keep with your presence, outsider? That takes guts, I'll give you that. What's your business in the Ard's Keep? Do you now? And you want to share that information with Ardkadak? You're certainly full of surprises, outsider. All right, I'll allow you to approach the throne, if your courage holds out. Fair warning, the Ard's in a foul temper today. Not yet you don't, but you will. Ardkadak's as likely to remove your head from your shoulders as listen to you, so talk fast, outsider. And remember, the Ard has no patience for fools or flatterers. Keep that in mind.
What fool do I have to behead for letting you in here? You're not of the Reach or the clans. You've either got the sense of a goat or the heart of a saber cat, and I'm eager to find out which. Now, speak plainly. What brings you to the despot of Markart? A fancy elf. who won't take no for an answer, huh? Yeah, he should have made this offer earlier. News concerning the rebels is a beast worth skinning. Tell me something I don't know, and won't have you fed to my hunting dogs. Spies in my city. Well, that would explain some things, but that and a vague location aren't enough to get me to sit down and drink with a high elf. What else have you got? And remember, my patience is wearing thin. Arana. I know that name. She's a honey-tongued fanatic who refused to bury her sword when I forged a peace with the Grey Host. She's slippery, eh? But I didn't realize she led the rebels. Sniffing out her reach, which that commands respect. For now. Aye, they agreed to spare the city while they look for some ancient relic. Dwarven, I suspect. They can have it. Verandis wants to meet? Then talk to my advisor, Lady Boleyn. Track down Arana for her, and I'll listen to every word he has to say.
I couldn't help but overhear Ardcadic's voice it carries. Now tell me about the leader of the witch rebels. The name you provided? Arana, I believe you said? Therein lies the problem. Reach witches are experts at losing themselves in the many caves and copses that decorate the landscape. It's like finding a tooth in a hen's beak. Most witches give deference to the Ard. Arana is a troublemaker. Actually, that task falls to you. A favor for a favor, yes. That's how business works here. Locate the rebels, find Arana, and urge her to stop meddling in Markart's affairs. Do that, and you shall earn a place for you and your count in the Reach. That look on your face. I know curiosity when I see it. Very well. I can spare a few more moments before sending you off on your task. What does the outsider in Ardcadic's court wish to know? While I may not have been born and raised in the Reach, I have earned my place as friend and counselor to Ardcadic. His subjects call me a keep witch. I assure you, this is a term of the utmost respect among the Reach folk. A genuine desire for peace brought me here. The Reach finds itself beset from all sides. Orcs, Nords, Bretons, Imperials, they all seek the destruction of the Reach folk. I try to serve as a bridge of sorts. Yes, a bridge between the Reach and the civilized world. There's simply no reason that the people of Tamriel should go on killing each other. We have an opportunity to build a kinder, better Tamriel. I'm here to help make that future come to pass. What is any rebellion all about? Malcontents chafing against the established order, stirring up trouble. They're a nuisance, nothing more. It's a matter of timing. Since the arrival of the Grey Host, the land beyond the city walls has become perilous. The Ard urges everyone to take shelter here in Markart, while Arana calls them away. Her reckless endeavor will get everyone killed. Peace, yes, of a sort. As long as we stay out of their way, the Grey Host has no quarrel with us. Besides, the walls of Markarth are impregnable. The Reach folk are perfectly safe in here. Now go, find Arana. A favor performed is a favor returned. A history lesson? Very well. Kadok is the cousin of the late Emperor Leovic. He was appointed ruler of Markarth and has governed this region ever since. Ard is an ancient title that translates to King of the Fort. The fort being Markarth and Understone Keep. As for that other epithet, it's a name given to him by enemies and outsiders. He may be cruel at times, but he's no tyrant. Reach folk have a saying. Anyone can be a king in the Reach. No one can be a king of the Reach. Few Reach folk will accept a true sovereign. It isn't in their nature. Of course, that makes Kadok's attempts to safeguard this region, complicated.
Over here, my friend. I want your audience with the Ard. Before you run off, tell me about your audience with Ard Kadok. Impressive. You accomplished more in mere moments than I've been able to do since I arrived in this savage land. We'll find Arana, see if the witch rebels will join our cause. I will continue my own investigations and meet you back here.
The Ard demand...
Hold there, outsider. These hills belong to the Reach folk, Rover. Turn around and go back the way you came, or I'll have your nose for a trophy. Witch rebels, huh? That's just a label applied by the oppressors, don't you think? Look, we have enough trouble with those Grey Host bastards and Carrick's soldiers. We don't need a curious outsider blundering around and getting in our way, too. You're a hunter? Truly. Sounds more like Carrick and his keep witch getting up to more mischief. You want to befriend the witch rebels? Then prove it. The Grey Host has set up stockpiles nearby. Find out what they're storing, and then we'll talk. The stockpiles were spotted to the east and south. If you can find out what the Grey Host is using them for, then we'll owe you a favor. And true Reach folk never renege on a favor. If I knew for certain, there'd be no need to have you go and take a look, would there? Probably supplies for their army. Though what vampires and werewolves need is anyone's guess. Ritual items, things for their harrowcraft. That's what I expect. Aye. Harrowcraft is what we call the rituals we've seen the Grey Host perform when they summon those cursed storms. Then you know the Grey Host has recruited Icereach witches to conjure up their storms. They use fetishes and alchemical mixtures in the rituals, so it makes sense they need a place to store those components. Are you daft, outsider? Do I look like a witch to you? A true witch has power, hears the spirits, knows the old words, commands animals, things like that. Some use their power to help. Others use it to kill. Icereach witches are particularly evil. Well, you'll probably have to fight them again. They stalk these hills like old ghosts. They're allied with the Grey Host now, don't you know? Greedy hags, the lot of them. I respect their strength, but their hearts are all twisted inside. There may be a peace of sorts inside Markart, but out here we're outnumbered and fighting for our lives. Nothing unusual on that. We won't let the Grey Host disarray our land, and we won't let Carrick give it away just to avoid a little blood.
This one hates criminals, especially vampire criminals.
This one, Tefan. Come, Harrier. Give me your measure. Tayfern told me about you, Harrier. You wanted to talk? Well, here I am. What will it be? A battle? I haven't turned anyone into a goat recently, but I'm willing to try if you so much as raise your weapon. Why does everyone insist on calling us that? Tayfern, remind me to come up with a better name when time permits. As for later, well, I guide this gathering of rich folk, if that's what you're asking. But what about you? Why are you here? Of course she is. She's a vampire, after all. We tried to slay her twice without much luck. Quick as a spooked hare, that one, and twice as cautious. We'll have her fangs soon enough, though. You can read? What else does that sheet of paper say? The leader? Now that's a worthy bit of news. Bones and birds guide us well, but there's no replacing a cunning hunter. Go to the barrow, Harrier. Listen in on their meeting. Find out what Belaine and her master are up to, and I'll hear you out. The spirits will see you safely to Valthum, Harrier. After that, I suggest stealth and a strong blade. Overthrow Markart? What in Namira's name would I do with all that dead stone? No, my purpose is clear. I need to help our people by shaking Kadok out of his dream. If that doesn't work, I'll split his skull and let it spill out on its own. Kadok's dream of being king. Oh, he has a true heart. In better times, he's a fine leader. But we face a lean season. We're hungry. But instead of filling the larder, he dreams of a golden crown. His foolish pride has brought this upon our people. Not yet. Not until all the beasts of the woods howl his name. And every day he heeds Belaine is another day he proves me right. The Grey Host has dark plans for Markart. Kadok's stubbornness will get everyone in that city killed. I am, and a fine one at that. What? Never met a witch before, Harrier? I'm sure. We're not all like the blood-sucking Belaine, or my misguided sisters from Icereach, though. Some of us aren't over-enthusiastic malcontents with a penchant for violence and destruction. Not all the time, anyway. Daedra? Ah, the spirits. The old ones. Yes, I've heard them called that. The world is full of whispers, for those with the patience to hear. Most them bloods are just too busy begging pardons from dead gods to pay attention. Pity. Daedra, spirits, crows, it's all the same. Where you see evil gods, we see teachers. Cruel ones, for certain. But that's the world, right? A stone will kill you if it strikes your head. But lifting the same stone makes us strong. What's to tell? I'm a proud woman of the Reach, a daughter of wind, sweat, and the rich soil. As for my brothers and sisters, they're good Reach folk, every last one of them. They mind the spirits and love the land. The real question is, who are you? A fine name, I suppose, for an outsider. But what's in your heart? Most thin bloods come to the Reach wheezing under the weight of their purses and writ laws. You, though, I smell the blood of the Reach in you. Not much, but maybe it's enough. Aye, free blood. That's what the Reach is. Freedom. In the Reach, we do as we please. Only way to stop us is to kill us. And we don't die easy. Same goes for you, I'd say.
Alright, you got what you came for. Now go to the barrow and do what Arana asked.
Your plan proceeds. Caddock hangs on my every word, and soon Reach folk will fill Markarth like a larder.
Excellent. With Markarth prepared, we need only claim the Arcthan Keystone.
I'll make inquiries. Just remember our arrangement. Like you, I hate to be disappointed.
You there, in the shadows. You can't hide from the Ashen Lord. Follow me, if you dare. You actually followed. There's fire in your veins, I'll give you that. Very well. You may speak to me. You, the thorn that caused me no small amount of irritation and solitude. You thought yourself so clever, so stealthy, spying on me from the shadows. But the darkness answers to me. You stand before Rada al-Saran and seek to understand his purpose. Better a torchbug try to comprehend the secrets of alchemy, or a mud crab the intricacies of necromancy. These events began millennia before your birth. They concern you not at all. Who is this we you speak of? Certainly not the Reach folk. No, there is someone else. I see them, lurking in your thoughts. An ally, almost as ancient as I am. They're desperate to forestall the coming night. Tell me, who is this person? And I don't have to resist the urge to rip out your throat and gorge on your blood. But we are civilized beings, exchanging pleasantries in this humble setting. Perhaps we can come to some sort of arrangement. A tip for a tap, as it were. I propose a simple arrangement. A truth for a truth. Ask a question. I will answer honestly, then I will ask a question in turn. A fair compromise, don't you agree? Excellent. Then by all means, ask your first question. I have no interest in conquering the Reach. I came here to make use of something very old, very powerful. The Reach has the misfortune to be located directly above it. Many of these mortals will die, not because I want them to, but because they must. Not when your purpose is worthy. I do what I do for love. My turn. Your ally. Are they a high elf? Your honesty does you credit. Thank you. Do you have another question? Lady Belaine is an ally of convenience. Her interests and my design are selfish and predictably narrow. Do you seek to supplant her in Caddock's court? I recommend against that, for it will not go well for you. A threat implies only the possibility of punishment. I do not threaten. Belaine has Caddock's ear. If he takes your side, she kills him and chaos descends on Markarth. If he stands by Belaine, you will be executed. Neither outcome benefits you. Others? Who? Reach folk? The witch Arana? Your mysterious ally? I am unconcerned. Now, for my question. This ally that hides behind your eyes, does he seek to protect the world by going against his own kind? Of course he does. Thank you for your honesty. Now, do you have anything else to ask? That is a complicated question. A being as old as I can claim many origins. This flesh was born on the distant isles of Yokuda. This spirit was forged on the bloody shores of Hammerfell. This purpose, it grew from love and necessity. That word holds little meaning for me now. But yes, in my youth I dedicated my life to perfection. In art, perfection. In love, perfection. In war, especially in war, perfection. To attain glory in Yokuda, nothing less would do. Is it? Beyond the Sea of Pearls, peerless sword masters were as common as grains of sand. Even the grandest victories felt commonplace. In a land of heroes, how can anyone claim to be exceptional? Precisely. After the conquest of Hammerfell, I wandered in search of new challenges. I found only one. Lecky, daughter to Rutger and master of the sword. We fought for 3 grueling days, without pause for rest or nourishment. But I didn't win. I didn't lose either. I could not accept a draw, however. The cold reality of my imperfection. That resentment drove me to Molag Bal. It took the patient wisdom of a friend to break perfection's hold on me. Now, your turn. Your ally. Are they? Interesting. A picture begins to emerge. Do you have anything else to ask? As you wish. Know that this level of cordiality will not be repeated. And this is not a threat. If you continue to meddle in my affairs, I will take far more than your life. On that, you have my word.
stormy night.
Get some rest. The gods will watch over us.
Welcome back, my friend. Tell me what you learned. Your arrival is fortuitous, as I have only just returned myself. Were you able to make contact with the rebels? Did you meet with Arana? I sensed some deception, but her illusion is powerful. How else did she hide her nature from me? As for Arana, do you think we can convince her and her rebels to join our cause? You spoke to Rodda? Did he... No matter. If Rodda al-Siran is here, our time grows short. Talk to Kadak. If he deems what you tell him worthy, maybe he'll finally be willing to work with me, and we can figure out how to deal with the Grey Host. It was only a matter of time before Radha and I crossed paths again. I just didn't think it would be this soon. Radha al-Siran and I... we have a complicated history. There was a time when Rodda and I stood united in purpose, to preserve the lives and welfare of vampires. Then, as now, our kin suffered under Molag Bol's curse, and the cruelty of mortal hunters. Not exactly. At least, not all at once. When I first met Rodder, he was immensely proud but utterly consumed by his failures. He tried to find relief in bloodshed and battle, but he was truly lost. I did my best to help him. Yes, his bloodlust gave way to introspection, and introspection led to study. He was already a peerless scholar. All Onse were, but he became fascinated with vampire texts. Eventually, he found a new purpose. Vampiric salvation. To accomplish this, he needed to break Molag Bal's hold over us and stop mortals from hunting us. I counseled peace with mortals, and for a while he agreed. But things changed, and I left the Grey Host. I thought he died with them. I sought to make the world a better place. I thought the Grey Council could help, but when it became the Grey Host, I formed the Raven Watch as an atonement for things I failed to do, friends I failed to save, from mortals and from themselves.
Sentry Bodfer sent word. The Grey Host is...
I'll hear no more of this! Go! I want to talk to the outsider. The outsider returns? But are you a true warrior? Or a parasite like these damned leeches? Did you do as Lady Boleyn asked? Did you deal with Arana? Tell me you have her head in your pack. I've got a pike on the walls waiting to be decorated. That's not what you are asked to look into. Still, it confirms my own suspicions about my own keep witch. Don't look so surprised. I'm not half as stupid as people think, Rover. Allow. I can count on 3 fingers the number of people I allow in Understone Keep. The rest, they come and go as they please. Let me tell you about the Ember Dance. It's a ceremony we perform here in the ring. We grab a handful of hot coals and dance on a bit of straw. Ah, these coals burn, Rover, right to the bone. But if you drop even one, the straw lights, and the flames take all of you to Molag Bal. Do you see? Boleyn's a hot coal. So I grip her tight. I'm going to sharpen my sword. And wait. If you and the noble plan to fight the Grey Host, I won't stop you. But remember, Markart is more than dwarven stones and high walls. It's strength. Make Arana understand that. That's how you can help. Still begging! I should have the tongue ripped from your head and... God damn it, Rover. A favor for a favor, aye. That's the Reach way. All right, tell the noble. Our Carrick will see him whenever he's ready. You think I'm foolish to keep Lady Boleyn close, don't you? It takes a bit of foolishness to rule this place, don't you know? You tell this high elf of yours. I'll see him if he wants. Because I'm the Ard of Markart, and she refuses to heed my commands. Look, every Reach warrior who dies fighting Arana's private war against the Grey Host makes all of us weaker. We need her strength, now, more than ever. Markarth's the safest place right now. No matter how well Arana and her rebels know the hills. The vampires and the werewolves sniff them out. If she keeps getting my best fighters killed, I swear I'll hang her from the city walls by her own guts! We made a deal. We gather in the city and leave them free to find whatever bit of dwarven nonsense brought them to the Reach in the first place. Of course, Lady Belaine brokered that peace, so now I suppose our bargain is suspect. The city walls are still our strongest play, Rover. Like headstones, they mark the thousands of enemies who died, trying to breach Markart's defenses. We'll bide our time and wait for the Grey Host to show their true intentions. Then I'll act. That's a title given to me by outsiders. I use it to frighten the neighbors and keep away the riffraff. I'm the Ard of Markart. Leovic, the last Longhouse Emperor, was my cousin. I inherited the throne by blood. Had to keep it by blood, too. You ask more questions than my third wife. Leovic's clan, my clan, squabbled over the scraps after Varen murdered my cousin. Pretty soon, they came to take my city. So I bound their ankles and tossed them all to the rocks, head first! All that were left, aye, and the word is executed, not murdered. An Ard offers food, freedom, and protection with his right hand. With his left, he promises cruelty and punishment. Those that covet the right get the left. Simple as that. No, that story's far worse. And no, I won't be telling it this day.
Belaine hasn't returned, but I've been watching, but Lady Belaine hasn't returned to Understone Keep yet. I wonder how the Ard plans to deal with her. Speaking of Ard Kadok, will he meet with me now? Will he help us stop Rada al-Saron and the Grey Host? Well, that's some progress, at least, and farther than I was able to get on my own. Thank you. I'll talk to Kadok, then I'd like to make contact with Arana. We'll need the rebels' help and more if we're going to defeat the Grey Host. Your investigations uncovered that Ard Kadok's advisor, Lady Belaine, is working with the Grey Host, and that she's a vampire. Hide that from me takes great power. Tell me exactly what you heard during Rada al-Saron's conversation with her. With your warning, Ard Kadok can decide what to do with Lady Belaine's advice in the future. As to why they care that Reach folk gather within the city, I'll need to think about that. Did you hear anything else of significance during their exchange? Rodder tried to use dwarven devices once, but nothing came of it. Interesting. As I toured the city, I met Nolavan. He works with dwarven scrap in the southeast section of Markart. Maybe he can lead us to this keystone before Lady Belaine acquires it. Despite occupying the ruins of their lost civilization, few Reach folk want anything to do with dwarven devices. That's why Nolavan intrigued me. While you deal with him, I'll seek out Arana's rebels. If I can't find them, they will surely notice me. So I shall, briefly. Kadak has a city full of reach folk to deal with, so I don't want to unduly distract him. Then I need to locate Arana. If we can get the rebels to work with us against the Grey Host, we'll have more than a fighting chance.
Strange visitors today. Outsiders asking about Arana.
Which? Were they friend or foe?
My rooks couldn't tell. He met them in private, without Lady Boleyn.
Wonder if she's finally fallen out of favor with the Ard.
Aye, you're an outsider. But guess when the Ard made us put up those scratching sequel signs, it really worked. Attracted you right to my business. Unfortunately, we're closed right now. Come back later, and bring your gold. Artzan. Sounds dwarven. I guess that's why you came to see me. No one in Markart knows more about the deep folk and their scrap than old Nolavan. Now, keystones. That's another matter. Could refer to a wedge that supports an arch, maybe? Well, that is the other kind. You might be able to find one in Batharzel. I could sell you a map to the place, but it won't be cheap. Or if you do a simple job for me, I'll give you the map as payment. Quick work that would help me a great deal. Aye, more than cover it. Here's your map, leads right to Batharzel, I guarantee it. You might need to do a little searching to find the entrance, but that map will get you close. Now, please, have some.
Hey you, Verandis has need of you. Verandis said he sent you to talk to the scrap dealer, and here you are. Good to see you, by the way. Anyway, Verandis needs to talk to you. Right away, he said. So let's go. He did. Here, let me mark a location on your map. That's Rebel's Retreat, what Arana and her people call their camp in the foothills. Verandis wants you to meet him there. You should move quickly. Verandis has a way with words, but he's still a verbose high elf vampire noble from High Rock, any and all of which can get you killed in the Reach. Funny you should mention that. Oh, he went out into the foothills all right, but before Verandis could find them, the rebels found him. Seems to be working out, at least for the moment. What's to tell? It's a Reach folk camp in the foothills. Probably the main base for the rebels, but I'm just guessing. I was with Verandis when the rebels surrounded us. I wanted to fight, but the Count held me back. That's when Arana appeared. Hang on, let me think. The camp's set up inside an old Nord ruin. It's surprisingly sturdy for something that was abandoned a long time ago. The rebels seem to be running low on supplies. Food, weapons, armor. Well, her and Verandis did most of the talking. I'm not sure I trust the witch, but I trust Verandis. He says she's a friend. That's good enough for me.
Ah, Arana becomes my associate now.
Aye, that one I know. Very well, Verandis. I'll speak to them. I see Verandis' word is good. You said I could treat with you, and here you are. The Count tells me that Lady Belaine and the Grey Host leader, Vada El Saran, seek some powerful relic. The Arcthazand Keystone. Is that correct? Let me see your map. Yes, I know that name. But dwarven mischief riddles the bones of the Reach. It could be anywhere. My mother called this place the Hissing Maze. Said it's full of mechanical monsters that guard a trove of silver. 3 marks. 3 places to search. All right. I'll help you in Verandis, but not before the spirits bless our alliance. I want you to undertake a ritual. If the spirits favor you, we'll face the Grey Host together. Positive thoughts, Harrier. Positive thoughts. Participate in the ritual. Then we will see what we will see. Without the blessings of the spirits, it would be unseemly for this alliance to go forward. The ritual begins with the preparation. Gather a Briarheart seed, a Hagraven's eye, and a handful of bright river shale. Check to the east, west, and south. Whenever different clans come together in a common purpose, we seek the blessings of the spirits to confirm we're doing the right thing. We will ask the Hunter to bind our hearts. If he sees strength in you, we will clasp arms and band together. Need a map for that too, do ya? Like I said, the ritual begins with the preparation. We need 3 things. A Briarheart seed, some bright river. They grow in the hills to the south. Just remember your gloves. The Briar's thorns are sharper than Dagon's razor. Check north and west, along the riverbank. Spirits prowl the area, so proceed with caution. Fairies and spriggans and such. I'd put them to sleep for ya, but that would be cheating. In a Hagraven's head, of course. Or from a jar. They remove their own eyes to use in rituals too. There's a coven to the east of here. Nothing but a flock of toad-licking root hoarders, stealing all the best herbs. Namira take the lot of them. You want to know about old Elkai, the wolf charmer, the lord of the hunt. You probably know him as Hircine. We can call on your gods too if you prefer. Care to wager who answers first? We'll hear from one of Hircine's pups at least. Or get a hint from a fox spirit or a bloody stag. You're not refusing the ritual, are you? Good. Nice to see you thin bloods aren't all hair-bladder cowards after all. Many, but not all. We have enclaves throughout these hills. But these aren't my warriors, Harrier. For now, aye. But these warriors take no oaths, swear no fealty. They serve their clan, the Reach, and the courage painted on their hearts. No one and nothing else. They'll wander back into the hills to fight their own battles, old and new. These troubles with the Grey Host have torn clans to pieces. Set sons against fathers, chiefs against wise women. It'll take seasons to stitch the Reach back together. No, they're not. Let's talk about something else, all right?
This sounds like some sort of summoning ritual. Interesting. An alliance with Arana and her rebels is essential. We'll need to add their strength to ours to defeat the Grey Host, so do as she asks.
You heard Arana. We need to perform that ritual. Gather the components and return as quick as you can.
The folk out here are tougher than any hiding in a stone city for certain. I help as I can to raise coin for them.
be short-lived. You'll never reclaim what it's taken from you.
The Harrier returns, swift as a crow on the wing. I have prepared the ritual fire. Did you bring the components I requested? Well done, Harrier. Now, once we undertake this ritual, we will be bound by blood and spirit. It's a union stronger than stone and more eternal than the stars. Are you ready for such a commitment? Good. So am I. Let's hope the spirits feel the same way. Place the components in the fire and stand back. No matter what you see or hear, stand your ground and think about our alliance. Keep that purpose in your mind. Understand? Heed our call, Hunt King. Two great packs seek the same full moon. Make them one, bound by common prey. Let Rach and Raven drink of the same dark blood. Howl your blessing, mighty Hircine. Send the sign and guide our hunt. Look, Hircine paints our quarry in smoke and stars. Our pact has been blessed, Harrier. The ritual was a success. Our union has been blessed by Hircine himself. I'm not certain what the spirits showed us, but I'll figure it out eventually. I always do. Are you ready to search for the keystone now, Harrier? I think I know where to begin. Aye, Harrier. We're bound together now. And how else will you find anything in those forsaken depths? I think the skytail we saw in the fire, the snake, will point the way. Once I figure out... That's what we call the shapes in the stars. Constellations is your word, I think. Some of my sisters can read the stars the way you read a book. See the future, learn the truth in every twinkle. I don't have the knack. It's fire and bones for me. We made a pact, and Hircine blessed it. He put us on the scent, and I plan to track it to the end. Besides, without someone who knows the Reach, the map's useless. You know what monsters hate? Silver. According to the stories, the Tharzel is full of it. I need to speak to Tayfern before I set out. Go on, Harrier. I'll find you on the trail. So the legends say. A treasure trove of the pure metal. Enough to arm my warriors with weapons to slay every vampire and werewolf that marches with the Grey Host. And your keystone too, with any luck. No, but rich folk don't make a habit of poking around in the deep places of the world. The Hells are dangerous enough. Still, the Tharzel's legend tells of silver and other wondrous treasures. Wouldn't surprise me to find your keystone there. Well, find something, that's for certain. In the Reach, treasure can mean all sorts of things. A plump cave bear is a treasure to a hungry clan. But as for silver, you won't find a better metal for killing vampires and werewolves. It means what it means. We're tied to each other now. What happens to one, happens to both. Thin-bloods make alliances with ink and parchment. We do it with fire, and oath, and spirit signs. I think you can guess which practice is stronger. Then they'd better lace their foot coverings tight, because they'll find no peace in the wild. Every wolf, hawk, and red-eyed stag heeds the Hunt King's call. You see, rich alliances have teeth. Your Ravenwatch friends better not forget that. Something to do with stars, I expect. How that might lead us to the entrance to a dwarven ruin, I've no idea. I think better out there among the rocks and trees, though. We'll see what we see and sort it along the way.
Keep Orana safe, my friend. Without her, I'm not sure the rebels will honor our new agreement.
Find that keystone. I don't know what it's for, but if Rada Al-Saron wants it, then we need to make sure to keep it away from him. Verandis and I will catch up with you after we track down Lady Belaine.
Harrier. A plaque. Let's examine it. That's a skytail. We call it the hunter, but I think you would refer to it as the thief. We find these from time to time. We think they're dwarven. Skytails etched into metal. Pretty, isn't it? Aye, but in and of itself, I'm not sure what it's trying to tell us. Let's keep looking. These plaques are as old as these hills, Harrier. Take a look. That's the Witch in the Stars, or the Mage, as you call it. Skytails. The Witch is one of the guardians that protects the lesser stars. I don't know. Not yet. Could have something to do with the Guardians. Maybe. Let's go to another location on the map. Place these plaques, but no one really knows. See what that one says. That depicts the skytail of the headsman. I think your people call it the warrior. I knew it would come to me, eventually. The ritual, the plaques, the map. It finally makes some sense now. You missed it too. What a pair we make. What did Hircine show us? He revealed the snake, which I thought was just a substitute for our prey. But the skytails on the plaques, the witch, the headsman, and the hunter, they're the Rach Guardians. Look at your map. See how the marks form the shape of the snake in the stars? And see how one mark is missing? If I place it here, we see the snake in its entirety. That's where we need to go. As for the Rach Guardians, well, we'll see. Storytellers say the dwarves knew the stars better than anyone. Strange passion for people who lived underground, eh? Anyway, let's get to this final location. The snake in the stars is the corruptor, the enemy. If permitted, it would consume the lesser stars without hesitation. Luckily, the guardians, the headsman, the witch, and the hunter, stand strong and defend the lesser stars. The hunter is the wiliest of the skytails. Clever as an old fox and swift as a young one. She watches the snake in the stars, finding it no matter where it slithers. She teaches us to keep our feet quiet and our keels as silent as the night. He carries an axe, doesn't he? The headsman stands for swift ends and payment in kind. He delivers justice and punishment in equal measure. Aye, this must be the spot. Just look at all this dwarf craft. The entrance to the Tharsel must be around here somewhere. Always a trick with dwarves, though. Look at these pillars, these skytails. Turn those stones in the right order. I think we'll find our door.
This looks promising.
Indeed. A dwarven lock of some kind, I suspect.
Damned dwarves, am I right? Devices aren't natural, what with all the gears and cogs and everything. Ugh. I try not to think too hard about dwarf mischief. But I do have a notion. We found 3 skytails in the hills, right? Guardians they were. Your warrior, thief, and mage. I think we need their help to catch our prey. I've no mind to rush you, Harrier. But if you want to snatch up this keystone, you might want to hop to it. Ugh. I try not to think too hard about...
As soon as we lost Lady Belaine's trail, we decided to instead pick up yours. And I...
Damn that Lady Belaine. She slipped away like a snake through a crack in the wall. Ah, well.
Something, Harrier. You hear that? Well done. That did it! Wait. Something's not right. A darkness.
Arana, are you all right?
An ominous turn. Come, my friend. Let's talk. The door opened, but something happened to Arana. She mentioned something about a darkness. We should check on her, but we also need to determine that the keystone we seek is here. No, but she has a sensitivity that I do not possess. Most powerful witches do. Let's hope she recovers quickly. It is said that mechanical horrors guard the depths of Bethar Zell. No matter what, we must find the keystone. Mind the shadows, and be on your guard. In addition to the mechanical traps and defenders, we know that Lady Belaine is also seeking the keystone. Lady Belaine has had more time to research the Artisan keystone than we did. She may have already known about his location and the hidden door, or she may have known a different way to get inside. Then again, she may be looking somewhere else entirely. I certainly hope not. Between the dwarven scrap dealer and Arana's ritual, everything seems to point to this location. I only mean that Lady Belaine may be operating off of a totally different set of suppositions. Dwarven keystones not only provide access to forbidden or otherwise sealed areas, they also tend to radiate ancient magic. The uses for such a relic are potentially limitless. I won't be able to determine more until I see the keystone itself.
Don't worry, Verandus and I have explored scarier ruins than this and emerged to tell the tale. You just worry about finding that keystone. I'd hate to fend off hordes of clanking monsters for nothing, you know?
All right. I'm ready when you are. There's something in there. Something more than dwarven tricks and devices. Not sure what it is, but I felt it.
Wendis and I can cover more ground on our own. Let's find the keystone.
I hate places such as this. No bird song, no fragrant breeze, and not a whispering creek to be heard. Just dead stone and stale air. Let's find the keystone and get out of here. This is Bethar's eh? Mind your feet, Harrier. Every bit of metal in here means to do you harm. Seen dwarfcraft like this. Must have been chiefs who lived here. Chiefs or grand metalworkers. Namira's blood. They cut the heart out of the ground. It's an entire city under the earth, hiding something worse beneath. We're getting close to something, Harrier. Something awful. tales were true. Silver. I'll send crafters down to carve it out, once we deal with the rest of these metal beasts. I hear something. Wailing and scratching at the walls. There's darkness all around.
There. That must be the Artisan Keystone.
Verandis. So it's true. You are alive. Nevertheless, the Keystone is mine.
I told you I saw him, skulking around Markart. He's not as impressive as you led me to believe.
Enough, Belaine. Take the Keystone. My Verandis would give chase. This pathetic creature. I don't know what it will decide to do.
Rada, you must listen. There's still time to make things right. Rada? Rada!
Damn it! Belaine took the Keystone. That metal beast is standing in our way. The proper rage victory. Remember that beating in your chest, Harrier, and the sweat on your brow. No metal beast, big or small, knows what victory feels like. That's how we win. That's how we always win. Come on, let's get out of here. I don't hear any clanking behind us. They think we're clear. Curse that Lady Belaine. I thought if we could acquire the keystone, we could finally get the upper hand. I'm tired of snapping at the heels of the Grey Host. I want to go for the throat. Maybe, but you have to go alone from here, Harrier. There's a fork in the path, and we need to go our separate ways. At least for a while. There's something down here. A darkness. Like leeches in a pond, it takes little bites of my soul. I need to get back to the surface. I need to see the sky, feel the wind on my skin. I'll rally the warriors and start preparing for the fight to come. Protect your heart, Harrier. This darkness will eat at you too, if you let it. Keep an eye on Verandas, Harrier. Rada al-Saran was toying with him. He's got plans for your friend, I think. It's hard to explain. Most witchcraft is. Imagine a boulder. Heavy, solid, huge. Now imagine some grinning bastard lowering it onto your chest. Slowly at first, but it starts to crush you. Little by little, it becomes harder to breathe. Aye. It feels like a wet rag sliding down my throat, choking the life out of me. I'll manage. But you need to stay wary. All of you. Whatever it is, it's like a black pit at the center of a sour fruit. And I don't think it belongs in this world. Dwarf magic is hard to hold. It's so clean, all straight angles, no frayed edges. So natural is what it is. The keystone might open a door, but more than that, it's eager. It doesn't just want to open, it wants to activate something. I'll send crafters to gather some. We'll fashion it into weapons, arrow tips, coated blades. We have a few metalworkers in the clans. Use what's on hand to survive, same as always. Silver hurts the Grey Host, so we'll work with silver. Dwarf magic is hard to hold.
Gwendis, think this through.
No. They slipped the noose once. That's not going to happen again.
My friend, I thought I could catch Rada and Lady Belaine. Convince him to... Anyway, I'm sorry I failed us. They acquired the keystone and escaped across the river, toward that dwarven structure in the distance. Unlike Gwendis, we can't rush off without a plan. Clear heads will win the day, mark my words. This contest is far from over. With a fresh trail to follow and new allies at our side, victory is closer than ever. And much of that is because of you. This must be Blackreach. I've read the legends, but I never thought it was real. The stories hardly do it justice. Perhaps one day I'll have an opportunity to explore it more fully. For now, we have work to do. Are you still with me, my friend? Ah, the keystone. What is it, and how is it connected to that dwarven structure? Why are they so important to Rada and Lady Belaine? Perhaps they seek to harness some sort of dwarven sorcery? Well, regardless, we can't allow them to achieve their goal. Yes, but we need to proceed with caution. We don't know the purpose of the keystone, and we don't know what they plan to do with it. That said, we are not without our own talents. We can overcome any obstacles and find a way forward. We always do. I'll meet you across the river. Together we'll find a way to enter that ruin. Seeing Rada again, it reopened many old wounds. He wasn't always the villain. At least, I like to think he wasn't. Ah, fool's hope is a dangerous thing. Conflicted. I suppose you could say that. We were friends once, partners, in a great and noble undertaking. And then Rada changed. Maybe it was me. Who can say? He betrayed what we believed in, and then he died. Or at least, I thought he did. Without a doubt, Rada's plans, whatever they are, will prove catastrophic to the mortal realm if allowed to proceed unchecked. I hope I can talk to him, appeal to his better half, and make him see reason. If not, I'll do whatever I must to end this. We have the ability to mask our condition from mortals, but it takes a powerful vampire indeed to hide from another one of our kind. As much as I hate to admit it, Belaine fooled me. I can tell you this, she's unlike any vampire I've met before. All vampires carry the stain of Molag Bal. It's the inescapable reality of our condition. But Lady Belaine, I sensed something else inside her. A vacant darkness. Still, if I can speak to Rada, perhaps we can settle this without bloodshed. I was able to study the keystone, briefly, before Rada and Belaine snatched it away. It's a faceted stone bound by a metal band, obviously of dwarven design. I'm not a Dwemer expert, but the keystone, it could have 1,000 different uses. Now, it shares some similarities with Ayleid Welkin stones, but as far as I know, the Ayleids and dwarves had little to do with each other. That's puzzling. Magic stones often serve as power sources, as well as keys and even weapons. I reached that same conclusion, my friend. Let's get over there and find out, shall we? And if the opportunity presents itself, perhaps I can get Rada to see reason and abandon this destructive course he's set for the Grey Host. I'll meet you outside the ruin, my friend. There you are. We have a problem. This is where Rada and Lady Belaine entered the structure, but I can't find any way to open the doors. I suspect this may be why they needed the keystone. Good question. Let's look around. Not all of the ruin remains intact. Portions have crumbled over the ages. Perhaps we can find a path through the rubble. Just be cautious. I've seen both constructs and shadowy creatures prowling this ruin. The constructs are dwarven and expected. The shadows, some sort of beings made of inky darkness. Quite unsettling and potentially dangerous. Something unusual has taken hold of this place. I wish I could say for certain. I've done precious little reading on dwarven ruins. I do seem to recall the name Arkzand being connected to a university, a library. This place does have a sort of academic look to it, don't you think? I've seen nothing dwarven in their manner or appearance. Dwarves were meticulous scholars. Their constructs, their architecture, everything was precise and controlled. These shades are like wild animals. Whatever spawned them may not be dwarven at all. Reach magic strikes me as wild and unpredictable. Arana clearly shares a strong connection with the ebb and flow of the spirits, though. She might have sensed these creatures, but I suspect something else caused her distress. The source of these shadow beings, these shades, I sense a corruption, a void. The longer I'm close to it, the more I suspect it may be the very thing that drew Rada and Lady Belaine here in the first place. Stay alert, my friend. I wish I could say for certain. I've done precious little reading on dwarven ruins. I do seem to recall the name Arkzand being connected to a university, a library. This place does have a sort of academic look to it, don't you think? Anything worth reporting about the contents of that note?